Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this tutorial I am going to show you how we can create a weather app UI in React Native. So as you can see over here, this is the iPhone simulator and this is the Android emulator. So in both of the platform we have similar kind of layout, and here we can slide to different locations and we will have weather information of different locations. So this is the layout, and if we see in iPhone simulator, then also we can see we have similar kind of layout and it is working in a similar fashion. So this is what we are going to create today in this tutorial. And let me tell you that I have created another tutorial where I have shown you how to create this weather app UI, this same UI in Flutter. So if you are interested in Flutter as well, then you can definitely check that tutorial. You can watch that tutorial from the eye icon of this video, and also I will provide a link in the description below. So if you are interested in this kind of tutorial, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new tutorial on this channel. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with the tutorial. So this is a new React Native project created with React Native CLI, and in this project I have added some assets and some library. Let me discuss all those things first. Here you can see we have a assets directory, and within assets directory I have a fonts directory. Within fonts I have few custom fonts, and these custom fonts can be downloaded from fonts.google.com, and here you can search for the font. In my case the font name is Lato, and here you can download the font family. Okay, and like this I got these files and I have added those files in my fonts directory within assets directory. After adding those things, we have to do some configuration, and that configuration is this react native.config.js file. Here you need to provide this code snippet. If you don't have this file, then create this file in root directory of your project, and then you need to type npx react native link to link these assets with your project. And as I have already done it, I will not press enter, and then I have used it here in this highlight style for this app.js. Here you can see that I have used the font family, the custom font family, and that way the custom font has been applied to it. So like this we can add the custom font to our React Native project. And then there is another kind of assets, which is the images and the SVG files. We can use images normally in React Native project, but to use SVG we need to do some customization, and for that we need to install two packages. The first one is the React Native SVG. You need to install this React Native SVG package by copying this command, and after installing this you need to go to iOS directory and then do pod install for the iOS. For the Android you don't need to do anything, because for the Android it will be linked automatically. This is just for the iOS app. So as I have already done that, I will not do that pod install. And after installing this React Native SVG, we need to install another package which is called React Native SVG Transformer. You can install this package by copying this code and then hit enter. And similarly I have already installed this package, so I will not do that. And after installing this, you need to do some more customization to use the SVG as I have used here. This is a SVG image which I have imported. Here I have imported this moon icon from my assets directory, and then I have used it here like this. But to use it like this we need to do the configuration, and that configuration is this metro.config.js file. Here you need to provide this code snippet, and you can get this code snippet from this page. Here is that code snippet, and after adding this code snippet you can use it like this. So these are the configuration which I have done already. Now we can focus in our app UI design, and for that first I will delete all these codes, and here I will add a functional component which is app. So this is a pretty basic component. Now we will start working on this. So now first clear this return statement, and here I will use a scroll view, because within this scroll view we will have different locations for which we will have different weather informations. Now within this scroll view I will have an image background, and for this image background source I will provide an image which is from our assets, and I will use night2.jpg image, and I will wrap this image background within a view. And for this view I want to provide height and width, and that height and width will be our device width and height. So we need to get those things first, and we can get that by using use window dimensions, and make sure you import all those things from React Native. Now here I can get width, which I will refer to window width, and I can get the height, which again I will refer to window height. Now for this view style I can provide those styles, and for this image background I need to provide style flex 1. Now save it. Now after saving it we can see we have an image, and that image has been expanded throughout the device width and height, but now we cannot see the information of the status bar. Now for this we need to use the status bar here, and here for this bar style we need to use light content. And now we are having an error. To get rid of this error we need to wrap all this code within a React fragment. Now after saving it we can see our status bar content is visible clearly. So now I want to change this scroll view to scroll to horizontally. Right now it is scrolling vertically, so for that here it will be horizontal true, and I want to provide this paging enabled as well. And here I have made a mistake, the width will be window width. Now save it. After that let's copy this view once again, and this time I will use a different image which is rainy.jpg. Now save it. After saving it, let's see, here we can see that it is scrolling perfectly fine, and along with this scrolling I want to disable horizontal scroll bar, so it will be false. Now after this scroll view I want to provide a scroll indicator dots here, but before creating those indicator dots I want to provide some data in our app which we will use to generate all these different slides. So I'm creating a new folder called model, and within this model I will have locations.js, and here I have already prepared some locations, so I'm going to paste those locations here along with the weather informations. So it is an array of objects. Within our object we have one location information, and then we have another one, and we are exporting this locations array, and we can import those locations from our locations.js file, and here I can use it to map through our different locations. So here for each item we will have the location and we will have the index. Now here I will create the images based upon the weather type. So if location dot weather type, here we have the weather type information. So if the weather type is equal to night, then we will create a variable called bgimage, and we will store the image information here. The image information will be this image path. So right now we have 4 kind of weather type, so we can provide 4 checking here, and for those 4 checking we will have 4 images. I don't want to type all those things, it will be similar to this, so let me just paste those checkings here. So if the weather type is sunny, then we will use this sunny.jpg image. If it is night, then we will use this image. If it is cloudy, then we will use this, and so on. Now after that we need to return our component, and that component will be this one. And here for this source we will use bg image, and here we have an warning, which is for the list we need to provide unique key. So we can provide the key index here. Now save it. Now we have all the different location images present. Now within this image background we can have view, and within this view we will have text. Now let me provide the name of the city. Here we can see the text. Now let's provide some styling here. For this text style, I will provide color white. Now it is white. Let me make it in center. So for the justify content, I will use center, and for the align items, I will use center as well. So now it is at the center. But for the bright images, our text is not visible properly. So for that, here we can provide a background color, and that background color will be RGBA black color with some opacity. So here is the background color, and let me provide some padding to it. So I have provided 20 pixel padding. Now it is properly visible. Now let me spread this opaque color throughout the screen. For that, let me provide flex 1 in the style of this view, and now get rid of this justify content and align items from here to here. So now it's looking good. So we have provided an opaque color on top of our images. Now all the contents are properly visible here, right? So now let me first focus into the scroll dots, and then later we will provide the contents within this view. So for the scroll indicators, here after this scroll view, I will create a view, and within this view, for each locations, I will map through all the location, and here I need to return some UI, and in that return statement I will return a view, and this view will be the dot, the single dot, and this wrapper view will wrap the dots. So first let's style this one. For its position I will use absolute. For the top of it I will use 160, and for the left value I will use 20. For flex direction of it I will use row, and then for justify content I have used center, and for the align items I will use center as well. Now for this view, which is the dot, here let's provide some styles. Here I will provide height 5, width 5 as well. Border radius I will provide 4, and then margin horizontal I will use 4 as well, and for the background color I will use white color. Now let's save it. After saving it, we can see that here are the scroll dots, but we are not seeing any proper indicator by which we can figure out which slide we are viewing within these 4 slides, right? So we need to change the structure of the active scroll indicator, and along with that I want to provide some animation, so that when we transition between one slide to another, that time we will have a proper animation. So for that we need to use the animated view, and that will be this view. So it will be animated dot view, and make sure you import this animated from React Native. And after that, here let's create a variable called scrollX, which will be an animated value of 0, and I will wrap it in a useRef hook, by which I will create a reference, and then I will use dot current to make a proper reference, and then I will use this reference in this scroll view. For this scroll view, on scroll I will update this scrollX value. So here I can use an animated event. So for the native event, content offset, I will update the scrollX value with the X position value, which is the horizontal, as we are scrolling horizontally. That's why I have used content offset X. If we will scroll vertically, that time I will use content offset Y. Now after that, here we need to use native driver true, and then scroll event throttle we need to use the value 1. Now we can use this scrollX to our dots to provide an animated width. So here we will update the width. So let's create a constant called width, and it will be updated with the scrollX. So it will be scrollX interpolate. Then we need to provide an input range, and for the input range we will use window width multiplied by index minus 1. window width multiplied by the index and window width multiplied by index plus 1. And by the way, this index is this one. Now after this input range, we need to provide output range. For the output range, I will provide 5, 12, 5. So its width will be 5, then for the active dots it will be 12, and then it will again be 5. And for the extrapolate, I will provide clamp. Now let's use that width here, but before that let me cut these styles from here to our style sheet. So it is the styles dot normal dot. So for the normal dot we will use this code, and for this code I will use indicator wrapper. So it will be indicator wrapper. Now I can use this width here, so it will be like this. Now save it. Now after saving it, we can see that our indicator has been changed. So this is the current active indicator. Now if okay, we are having an error, let's see why is that. But here I can see that I need to provide a key. Here it will be key index. Let's see. So we have the error. Let's figure out why we are having this error. Okay, so here was the mistake. Previously I have used true for this use native driver. I have to use this false. Now we can scroll through each slides, and right now we are having a proper animation, right? So it is a very good proper animation which showing the current active indicator, and while we are transitioning to different slides, that time it is giving a very good animation. So why I need to set this to false? Frankly, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with animation in React Native, so I don't have any proper explanation for this. If you have, let me know in the comment section below. Now we are mostly done with the complex part of the UI. Now we have very simple task in our hand, which is this UI, and here it is pretty simple. All this section we can wrap in a view which will be our main wrapper, which is containing our main content, and then here we will have this top info section. So this will be within another view within this main content wrapper, and within this view we will have two sections, right? And other than this top info section, we will have another bottom info section which is containing these informations, and in between this we are having this horizontal bar which will be again another view. So let me create this quickly. So here it is our main content wrapper. Right now I am removing this justify content center and align item center, and within this view we need to create another view which will be our top info wrapper. So let me name this as top info wrapper, which will wrap our top information, which is this part. And then I will create another view which is bottom info wrapper. So let me copy this, and it will be bottom info wrapper, and in between this I will create another view which will display this horizontal bar. Now for this view I will provide background color RGBA. I will provide white color with some opacity in it, and then I will provide margin top 20, and I will use border bottom width 1, and it will be not the background color, it will be border bottom color. Now save it. So here we can see that horizontal bar. Now let me create this top info wrapper and bottom info wrapper. So for the top info wrapper I will use flex 1, margin top I will use 160. Now it has been pushed at the bottom because for this flex 1 it is taking all the space. If I provide a background color to it, then it will be prominent to you. So this is the margin top 160. So after 160 pixel it is taking all the available space. Now let me provide some information in it. Let's provide a text, and the text will be the city. So this is the city, and then the date time. So this is the date and time. So let me provide some styles to it. For this I have provided style city, and for this date and time I have provided styles time. So let me create those styles. So here let's provide the white color, then provide font size 30. Then for the font family, let's use our custom font, which is Lato regular, and for the font weight I will use bold. So this is the text. For the time I will use the white color, and then I will use this font family. And now I want to provide the temperature information, and that will be at the bottom of this view. So because of that we need to wrap these two text within another view. So it will be a view which will contain these two text, and then we will have another view which will have text for the temperature. So here is the temperature, but it's sitting below the date and time, right? We can change that by providing justify content space between. Now it has been pushed at the bottom. So now I think it is clear to you how we can position content differently in a view. Now let me remove this background color here, and later when we will provide some content for the bottom info wrapper, then we will have some space for the bottom info, and that time it will be pushed to the top a little bit. So now remove this background color, and for this text style it will be styles temperature. Let's create this. So for it we will use same white color. For the font family I will use Lato light. For the font size of it I will use 85 pixel. So now it is prominent. And for this indicator wrapper top, let's provide 140. After this temperature we have the weather type. So it will be weather type. So for it the styles will be the weather type as well. Let's create this weather type. For it will be similar, the white color. Then we will use a font family which will be Lato. For font weight we will use bold. For the font size of it I will use 25 pixel. For line height I will use 34. Now save it. So this is how it's looking right now. But beside this text I want to display the SVG icons for these weather types. So because of that I will provide a margin left to it which is 10 pixel. And now I need to wrap this within a view, and here I want to display that weather type icon. Now for that let's create a function here, weather icon, and we will receive weather type here. Then we will check if the weather type is equal to, so these are the weather type. If the weather type is equal to sunny, that time we will use this sun.svg. So let me import those icons first. So here the sun icon, and it will be within assets, then sun.svg. Similarly we will have cloudy.svg, then we have moon.svg, and along with these 4 svg we have 2 more, which is the menu and the search, which are for this menu and search icon in this app bar. So let me import those things as well. So for the sunny weather type I will use sun icon, and width of it will be 34, height will be the same. For the color of it we need to provide the fill property, and that will be white. Now let me copy this several times. Other than this sunny we have rainy, cloudy and night. So for the rainy it will be rain icon. So here within this view we can use the weather icon, and we need to pass the weather type, which is the location weather type. Okay, it is not showing anything, yeah, because we need to return these icons, so it will be returned. Now after saving it we can see that this icon is sitting on top of it, but we need to position it beside of this text. For that, here for this view let's provide flex direction row. So now it is showing perfectly. Let's see for other locations as well. So it is showing perfectly fine, right? Now after that we need to focus into this bottom info wrapper. For this bottom info wrapper we need to create a view, and then within this view we will have different text, and this text will be the location wind. So it is the speed of the wind, and on top of that we need to display the wind text and then the unit of it, which is kilometer per hour. Now save it. Now here we can see that it has been pushed at the top little bit, but we cannot see any text because it is right now in black color. Now for this text style I will provide white color. For font size of it I will provide 14 pixel. For font family I will use Lato. For font weight I will use bold. Now save it, and let's provide a style for this view, which is the align items center. Now let's copy this style and put it in our style sheet. Let's name it as info text. So it will be style info text as well, and for this one it will be styles info text, but this time I will change the font size of it. It will be 24. Now copy this view two more times and save it. Now we can see that it is positioned on top of each other. Now I need to change that. So for this bottom info wrapper, let's provide some styling. So it is bottom info wrapper. Here the flex direction will be row like this. Let's provide justify content space between. So now it is looking good. Let's provide margin vertical 20. So now it is looking good. Now let's provide the exact information. So after this wind we have rain, so it will be rain, and for the rain the unit will be percentage. Then here it will be humidity. Now saved it. So it is showing perfectly fine. Now after this unit we have a bar, which is the visual representation of the number. So here we need to create a view. For this view let's provide a style called info bar. Now let's provide a width 45, height 5. For the background color of it I will provide RGBA, a white color with some opacity in it. The opacity will be 0.5. Now within this info bar we need to provide another bar, which is this green or this red bar. So it will be another view, and it can be self-closing tag. For this view let's provide some styles. Here the width will be dynamic, and this will be for this value, which is the wind value for this case, by 2. Height of it will be 5. Then we will provide the background color, which will be the background color of the green. So this green color. Now let's provide this view for each of this info, and this time for this one it will be for the rain, and this time we will have a different color, which is the red color, and that color code is this one. So now copy this one and provide it for this humidity section as well, and this time it will be humidity instead of the rain. So it's showing perfectly fine. So now we are completed with the UI. Now we have left last part, which is this app bar section, and to create this app header we need to install another package, which is called React Native status bar height. And what it does is it helps you get status bar height, which is this different height for different devices. For different iOS devices, Android devices, we will have different kind of status bar height. So that's why we need to install this package. So I have copied it. Let's install it. So it has been installed. Now we can use it by importing this get status bar height from React Native status bar. So let's import it. Now let's create this app bar header. So here it will be a view. For this view, let's provide a style. Let's name it app header, and within this app header, let's provide touchable opacity. So make sure you import touchable opacity from React Native, and then for the on press of it, right now I will provide a blank function, and here we can use the search icon. For the width of it, I will use 24 pixel. For the height of it, I will use the same value, and for the fill color, I will use the white color. Let's copy it again, and this time it will be the menu icon. Now let's provide some styling for this app header. So here it is app header. For this app header position, let's provide absolute position. For the top value of it, let's provide 0. Width of it will be 100%, and for the height of it, here we will get help of this get status bar height plus 40 pixel. Now after saving it, here we can see those icons. Let's provide some more style, which is the flex direction row. Justify content will be space between. Align items will be flex end. So now it has been positioned here, and at last let's provide a padding horizontally with 20 pixel. So now our app UI is complete and it's looking good, right? So that's how we can create the weather app UI in React Native, and I hope you have learned something new from this tutorial. If you do so, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and let me know by commenting down below. And if you have any kind of suggestion for me, then also let me know. And if you want to learn about Flutter or you are interested into that, then definitely check my Flutter tutorial, in which I have shown you how to implement this same UI in Flutter, and that link will be in the description below. So definitely check that out if you are interested into Flutter. And if you have any kind of suggestion for me, then also let me know, and don't forget to share this tutorial with your friends and colleagues, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. In the meantime, have a great day. Goodbye.